It's Nikki.
And it's Marcia, and welcome to the LoveChat podcast. We're back again to discuss our love of all things like
Grace and Frankie.
Love of dancing in the streets.
The love of Barack Obama.
and the love of a good sweatshirt. But before we get into all of that, ladies, this is my favorite part of our podcast, and you know what that is.
Cocktail of the week.
So we have posted this week's cocktail to all of our social media platforms, and we hope that you're enjoying a cocktail or two along with us safely in your home. And this week, I think it's Nikki. What are we drinking on, Nikki?
Well, it's a celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on.
Come on.
We all popping bottles today. Pop them bottles.
Yeah, pop it, baby.
So we're going to have like champagne, wine, bubbly. I'm drinking my favorite. That Stella Rosa Peach.
Yeah.
Oh, and you got a mini bottle.
Yeah, I got a mini bottle.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Cute. So toast it up to our president-elect. Is that what we're toasting
And
to?
Vice President-elect.
And Vice President-elect.
And prayerfully, the Senate. Woo.
Yes.
Let's go.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Let's go. Georgia turning blue. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Yes. Cheers.
Yes. Come on, Georgia.
Georgia
Yes.
blue.
All right.
Thank you, Nikki. So now we are going into my favorite part of the podcast, which is the crushing segment. So, Jelani, what are you crushing on this week, boo?
You look
I think Delaney is frozen.
Frozen. So we'll move on to me, and we'll come back to Jelani. She'll pop back in. I am crushing on excuse me, virtual wine tasting from Wine Shop at Home and charcuterie boards from Boards and Platters, based here in Atlanta, Black-owned, woman-owned shop. And we had a great virtual wine tasting the other night, fun date night. We had a lot of fun.
Okay, say that board thing again because I always mess up the saying.
A charcuterie board.
Yeah, Shakira.
Yeah.
Girl, I
I
never
was about to
can
say
say
a
that.
charcuterie board.
Because
I
I,
was like, no.
I forgot when I first
So it's
saw
called a charcuterie?
Charcuterie board.
Charcuterie. Charcuterie. I have no know how to say that. As
Yeah,
bougie as I can
charcuterie
be.
board.
That's one of the things that I don't know
I
nothing
love,
about.
or you can just stick to fruit and cheese board if that's
Yeah,
what
that's
you
what
want.
Right, that's what I call it, a cheese
Charcuterie.
board. But I don't eat cheese, so
Yeah. But you know
So
what?
there's that.
Surprisingly, they had options. They had, if you just wanted meat and fruit, if you just and fruit and vegetables, whatever. They had vegan, had all kind of options. So it was really cool. Hey Jay, she's back.
Am I back?
Yeah,
You are back.
Okay, I'm back.
And time to tell us what you're crushing on.
Yeah.
So I am crushing on watching The Mandalorian on Star Wars because I will admit that I've never been a big Star Wars fan, but I have always been a Baby Yoda fan. Well, always is loose. I've been a Baby Yoda fan since the memes have come out. So I'm crushing on watching that every week when it comes out. And I think it's pretty exciting. And I still have not gone to watch all of the Star Wars series. So at some point I need to do that.
I did that over the summer.
Oh wow.
Huh.
Yes, I say if I got
Oh, my
Disney,
nails are all jacked up.
utilize it.
Yes.
So I wonder where this love of Star Wars just popped up all of a sudden.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? All right, Nikki, what you crushing on, girl?
First of all, what is happening?
Oh Lord.
Oh,
I was
Lord.
trying to move on and
I was
let
trying
you
to
move
move
on, but
on.
we can backpedal. If you want
Right.
to chit chat.
But I'm just
If you
saying
wanna
that did
chit
no
chat
one
with a
else
love
pick
chat.
up on that?
I
No,
mean,
we
we
all
all
picked up
did.
on
We
it,
were
but we was
trying to help
trying
you
to-
move on, but clearly you want to talk about
Because you
it.
want
So
all
let's
the
talk
listeners
about
to hear
it.
your business.
Oh, I was just teasing. We can move on.
Thank you.
I mean, we were moving on. You the one that
Yeah.
Let's
You
go,
want
Nikki.
the problems.
Oh, Lord, I love y'all.
I am crushing on Black women because why not? But
Why
That's
not?
right.
we are doing it and we're finally getting some recognition a little bit. So, I just wanted to recognize us, Black women, as my crush.
Cheers to us.
But we'll get more into that during, our chat. But I just wanted to go ahead and say
One time for the Black girls.
the real heroines.
All right.
I know. Ooh, we'll get there. Marcia, what you got?
So, you guys, I'm actually crushing on WW, also known as Weight Watchers. So, of course, over the COVID break, we've all kind of put on our little COVID weight. I know at least I have. Just eating bad, like really bad comfort food, that kind of thing. And picked up some pounds unwanted. And I said, I need to get my life back right. So I've been on Weight Watchers years ago. And of course, the program has changed abundantly. And so I just jumped back in and I actually joined the program. I've been on it now for about 2 weeks. I've lost 4 pounds. So it works. Weight Watchers is one of those programs people be like, you don't need to be on no diet. It's not a diet. It just basically reprograms your mind to help you make healthy choices and eat better. Like, for one, I shouldn't be drinking this champagne because, it's a lot of points. But hey, we got to toast it up today. So, but yes, that's my crush.
We didn't say you had to drink the whole glass. We just said you got to take a couple of sips.
Well, I've measured my ounces, so I've got my ounces over here.
And can you still bank points like you used to?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can still bank points. So I walk, I get on my treadmill. You can get sit points. Yeah, and I mean the program now, it's all digital on your phone. So you just take it, you scan an item, and it gives you the points right there. So it makes it super easy.
When you mentioned it the other day, I went to go look into it, and I was like, do I want to start now? Do I want to wait till after Christmas?
See, look, that's Jamal. Well, after the holidays, but I went ahead and started. I went ahead to start and get myself ready. But yeah. So
and I feel like it also would keep you from going crazy during Thanksgiving and Christmas because of all the progress that you've made. You don't want to backpedal.
Right. Exactly. Just like this bottle of wine. Y'all know I would chug a lug this Moscato over here, but I'm being moderate and mindful. And there's a lot of 0-point foods that you can eat and all that stuff too. So that's awesome. Yeah. And 2 of my other friends joined with me. So we're all trying to keep each other encouraged.
Accountability, that's always good.
That's always it. Good.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen when I get that Peloton.
That's right.
Yes. I'm so mad.
I have to have accountability, people. I have to, people have to hold me accountable or I just won't do it.
What's wrong, Marcia?
Because I wanted the Peloton and we got that Nordic track and I was like, Jamal, Beyonce gonna be on Peloton. He was like, oh my God. Oh, well, you better put your Beyonce in your ears and get on that Nordic track.
Like, let's go, B. Let's go.
It's all good.
The classes are bomb too. I don't know if y'all seen the classes.
Just ride with us.
But they are bomb for real. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Anybody want to buy a Nordic track? Let me know. Hit me up. DM me. I'll sell it.
Mom come home and be like, what happened?
Jamal is not gonna sell that Nordic track.
If I could sell it, I can get a Peloton. We didn't get the Peloton because they were, it was during COVID. They didn't have any. So
I've heard they still on back order. You can get one. I've just heard they still on back order.
Yeah, they still on back order.
January 21 is my delivery date.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Well, good luck.
Right in time for after the holiday eating. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right.
moving along into our next segment, which look, this week I'm calling it Share the Love. Maybe we'll just have a different name for it every week. I have no idea. But it's time to share the love. A shout out, a love letter, a mental check-in, spiritual, physical check-in, maybe what we did with Weight Watchers and now everything else. But remember your love letters. And if you want to communicate with us in any way, shape, or form, send us a love letter, send us a shout out, whatever you want to send us, we'll discuss it. And this week we kind of talked about the stress of the election. And I want to shout out to Tiffany Jackson. She's at Written in BK. I'm sorry, Write in BK, for giving us the tools, which she calls her Joy Toolkit. But first, I'm going to get into a little bit of election stress. The Today Show had a great segment about kind of do's and don'ts for election stress. And so I think we all know that 2020 in general has just taken us all kind of to the limit. And then this election on top of COVID, on top of work, on top of kids, on top of everything, social stuff. It's just been a lot for everybody. One of the things that they said was kind of like, I can say personally, at the beginning of COVID, I was drinking a good bit, like for sure. Like I really was like having a cocktail most evenings. And at some point I kind of had to dial it back, like, okay, let's take stock here. So one of the things that they talked about is not to overindulge in alcohol.
For
To limit
sure.
your sugar intake, to limit your caffeine, because a lot of us are anxious and that's probably not healthy. Don't what they call doom scroll on social media all day, because you see all the bad stuff that's happening. Don't do that to yourself. Recalibrate maybe who you're following a little bit, and don't focus on the negative. So I thought those were like some really good tips to kind of recalibrate our minds a little bit, because even though the election's over, it's not over. It's not over. The fate of the Senate still hangs in the balance, and a lot of us are still anxious about how that goes, on top of all of the other craziness that's going on with the lawsuits and the recounts. And just, we thought it was over, but it ain't over. So speaking of the Joy Toolkit, Tiffany mentioned just kind of pulling out your own Joy Toolkit. We posted it on social media. We'll post it again. But like, what are 5 things that bring you instant joy? And so, for me, one of the biggest things that has brought me instant joy is just laughter. Just laughing with y'all, laughing with my kids, laughing with my husband, my friends, whoever. Just whether it's corny jokes or funny stories, whatever it is, that's brought me instant joy. So what are like one thing, if we just go down the line, that's maybe brought you instant joy during this whole crazy time?
I'd say for me, it's been my 3-way calls with my daughters, my 3-way FaceTime. As you know, one of my girls is in college. She's actually at the campus, and one of them is in the military, and she's stationed up in Maryland. So I don't get to see my babies, but when we get on 3-way, it's hilarious. Like you said, it's laughter, but being able to see their faces and just talk to them, it just really brings me kind of my instant joy.
Okay, Nikki, what about you?
Any kind of reminiscing to good times. Anything like with
remember when
family, anything.
Reminisce on the life we had.
Just, and it causes you to laugh, like you were saying. Laughter is just such, medicine for the soul. So, yeah, reminiscing about anything.
You might not want to reminisce about love, but okay.
Oh Lord,
sometimes I like to reminisce about them because it's in the past, and it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I remember you were so hung up on this person. You remember we was driving and looking.
Wait, but do you ever hear a song sometime and it just takes you back?
Please. Yes, absolutely.
Girl.
Together. Mariah Carey. That is
Girl.
that album. I know we said it last episode too, but that album. Emancipation of Mimi.
Girl.
Child.
Anyway,
That was
I ain't gonna
years
say my
out,
song because then I'll be listening to it and then Jamal will be like, yeah, you said on the podcast that that song remind you of.
Yep.
I'm gonna leave that one
don't
off.
listen to this part. Just fast forward past that. What's bringing you joy?
So I enjoy just like being able to curl up on the couch with a good blanket. Like for me, just being able to sit still sometimes, because y'all know in a non-COVID world, I am always on the go. And so just being able to sit still.
Look, I was like, in a COVID world, you might not be always on the go, but you're still on the go a little bit.
She be in them streets, driving around,
but not as much. We'll say.
She be trying to get that money.
We still gotta work. People still want to buy houses. People want to still sell houses.
That's true.
I mean, it's time to pull up. So I'm still, doing that, but being able to sit still and curl up on the couch and watch a movie or just hang out with the good music or something like that, like that brings me instant joy, to be honest. Sometimes doing nothing is the best thing for me.
Oh, amen. That's my favorite thing. That.
It soothes my
Yeah.
my
I feel you on that one.
I got to do another, because I think the weirdest part for me has been that this is the most abnormal world I've ever lived in. But work and school is like, but we're going to act like everything's normal. And that's been the weirdest part of all of this for me.
So the interesting part too, for me, has become how quickly this has become normal. So if we think about it, I mean, we've only been in this space since March? And now it's like, well, of course you're not going to stand close to me in the store, and of course you're not going to do this. You know what I mean? It's just all of a sudden these things have become like, why are you so close to me? Why are you talking to me? Why you don't have on a mask?
I was like that beforehand. Why are you so close?
I know. I mean, you were like that before, but now it's become more normalized, more widespread. Right? So I think that's kind of an interesting thing too. And just, as you continue to try to do things, how different things are. Like, so I'm trying to get some blinds put in my house. And so I have the guy come from Home Depot, right? So he comes, he's got his mask on, he puts his shoe covers when he gets to the door. I open the door, and like the rooms that he had to go in, he was like, can you open the door for me? I'm like, sure. And I appreciate you for not touching my door handles. That kind of on the way out, he was like, can you open the door for me? Sure. Like those types of things. Whereas before, somebody would just walk in your house, no mask on, left the shoes on, walked around, touched everything, that kind of stuff. So I'm curious to see how much of this will continue going forward. Because also as they're talking about like a vaccine and people like going back to work and stuff, I'm like, I'm not getting a vaccine. Not on round one. I don't know where that's at. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So, just what's gonna happen. We'll see.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
I can't do it. Not round one.
Well, I think a lot of people, I think to a certain extent, right? People can make choices. But then when you start talking about kids in school, whether it's in college or K through 12, when you talk about going into offices and some employers requiring you to have employees,
being in the military, thinking about like my daughter, she's in the military, so of course they're gonna make them do it.
I saw something. Ticketmaster is gonna require it.
I'm sorry, what? Ticketmaster's they're gonna require what?
Take the vaccine.
Like if you work for Ticketmaster.
What do you mean?
I just saw that today.
You mean like if you work for them?
No.
You mean if you go to a concert
and go to their stuff? Yeah, you got to be able to show that you. Yeah, they're not gonna be responsible.
So how would they want you to see? They want to see your shot records?
I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying.
That's an invasion of privacy.
Your HIPAA.
And that's what I think is going to be interesting about this whole thing, because it's going to be so long before I feel like everyone else can get the vaccine, because you'll have those people who will become prioritized in terms of getting it, military, health, all that kind of stuff. And then just the dissemination of that to everyone, I think it's just going to be interesting. And then you get down to things like Ticketmaster requiring it. They say some airlines are going to require it.
They're saying
And I'm just like, well, how
travel.
yeah. What is that really going to look like? Because we don't know the long-term effects of any of this stuff. And I am one that believes people should be vaccinated by and large, but I understand that there are reasons why people might not want to get vaccinated. So that's the hard part too.
Right.
I just don't think I should get vaccinated round one.
I get it.
Well,
again,
there are multiple vaccines that are competing to get into the marketplace. I think people are being unrealistic. They think they're gonna have something in January, and there are a lot of people that will have to get vaccinated first, like first responders, like the military, like people who work in healthcare and public health. There are a lot.
Did we leave?
And you have to have
frozen.
Yeah,
I think so.
We're losing her. Well, yeah, we probably need to go ahead and dive on into our love chat. Kamika will be back with us shortly. Delaney, you want to dive into the love chat?
Yeah, so we
there she is.
Back.
The internet is unstable in my house.
I feel you, girl.
What'd you say?
I feel you.
On it.
The internet is unstable. I feel you. But what's going to be funny is please go watch our YouTube, because you're going to see all of this with us in the frozen faces.
Our facial expressions. Right. And if you happen to work for any of the internet service providers, provide us with stable internet connections.
Exactly.
Well, you know what's interesting is when I had Comcast, never had this kind of, so, but also we also had actual cable. But now that we're on AT&T fiber and using Hulu, like all the TVs pull, all the computers pull, all the devices pull.
Yeah, because you're the reason I have Comcast, because I had regular AT&T that sucked. And you talked me into this Xfinity Comcast, which is, it's okay, but I would rather have fiber, but you know, they don't have it in my area.
Fiber is good, but again, and see, I think it's different. There are 4 people living here, and all of our TVs are, you know, we got rid of the cable and the Comcast internet, and so now everything pulls from the internet. And but I think most people in my house are asleep now, so it shouldn't be that bad. But obviously it froze, so clearly.
We just in those times anyway. It happens all the time, no matter what. I think so many people are pulling on services anyway, just in your area. So it's going to be like that.
Yeah,
I think, and just the number of devices now that are pulling on your, like everything that you do is connecting wirelessly. You know what I mean? Like, oh, just plug and play your internet and plug and play your security system and plug and play this. I'm like, well, darn.
Right. You got Alexa pulling, the phones pulling, the TV pulling, the everything.
Right.
My thermostat is pulling too.
Yep.
Your what?
Well, we also have a smart house, so all of that is pulling, you know, like I mean everything. So
yeah. I'm about to call Comcast tomorrow and tell them I need a booster. But anyway, so
I had to get one for T-Mobile, and let me tell you how that thing, you know, you think it's good in the hood until the power went out with that hurricane that came through. And child, we were in here looking like, you got a boy, you got a boy. We ain't had nothing.
Oh my
God. Anyway. So I am going to switch us over to talking about, or to the meat of the podcast, which is the love chat. So, but on the flip side, I'm sure you guys, if you guys are watching us on YouTube, if you are listening on iTunes, Spotify, whatever, you need to flip over to YouTube so that you can see our lovely Biden hair skirt. So I am just thrilled because Joe Biden was officially, I guess, yesterday, today, won the state of Georgia. And I think that was a huge victory, in particular, because all of us, we live in the A. So that was a huge victory for all of us. But also, it's a huge victory because Trump about to lose his job.
Hey, you about to lose your job.
Woo, hallelujah. Let's hope he leaves up out of here.
Look, we get complete sentences. We get coherent thoughts. We're going to get,
oh my God,
some respect, conversation, all that. We just need decency back into the White House. I mean, we need to ride out like Kid Fury say, I just want to see him getting drugged from the White House.
A president that's not on there tweeting all day and night.
A kind of Uncle Phil and Jazz.
Oh yeah,
that's what I was hoping to see.
Yes,
love that. But it's weird because I don't think he's just gonna leave. I mean, he's firing all these top officials. He's doing all these
which is
things.
crazy.
It feels like the Handmaid's Tale. What I've been telling y'all.
Yeah.
He's lining up all these people who, if you are not on his team, he is not trying to hear it. He's firing you.
But he's also trying
going back to the Handmaid's Tale, Kamiko, one of the vaccines is from Gilead, isn't it? And I was like,
I'm just saying, y'all, I don't think this is gonna be as easy and as smooth as we think it's going to be. I pray it's not.
Yeah. But he also is just having a tantrum. Like he's like, how like, I don't want you to be successful, so I'm just gonna dismantle everything and blow it all up. So then, and so
but the problem really isn't him, right? The problem is all the bad actors around him that are making this much worse. And so if it was just him being crazy, it's fine. But there are too many people in various states, in various positions, whether on the federal or state level, who are complicit, frankly.
Because he's popular. He got 70 million, 70 plus million people voted for him. And they
second highest in history.
Because he's connected. And they want him to come to Georgia and, strum up, and galvanize the voters, the Republican. They're trying to not make him too upset. So they're trying to pacify him, even though behind closed doors. They're and they congratulate. Did you see Lindsey Graham fist bump Kamala yesterday on the Senate floor? Congratulating her.
No, I didn't see that.
Hypocrites. It's
but awesome. Let's give a quick shout out to our next Vice President-elect, Madam MVP, Madam Vice President, our soror. Yes, we are saying it proud. Kamiko too, even though she ain't got on pick of green today, but
I don't. I got my official Biden hair.
But she got on that blue though. She got on that blue because we turned this thing blue. Right. Yes. So definitely want to give her props and congratulations for sure.
Yep. First in all things. Never forget.
Always. Yes. First. Keep it first. Yeah. But speaking of that,
it's really an exciting time. It's kind of crazy because you just got this range of emotions. It's super exciting. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of all these that showed up to vote. Number of people are voting, whoever you voted for, it's a record turnout. And shout out to these mail-in ballots because they saved us.
Right.
They saved us.
Right. Look, I got to give a little shout out to my child, my college student. She came home that weekend and actually voted here with me. But when she went back to school, how about she was taking her friends? I talked to her on election day and she was like, we're up here. I brought so-and-so to vote. I was like, wait, what? I was like, are they from there? From Albany? She was like, no, they're from such and such, such and such. And I was like, well, she was like, Ma, they're doing the, what is it called? Lord, I can't even think about it.
Provisional ballot.
Provisional ballot. She was like, Ma, they're doing the provisional ballot. And I was like, look at my baby. So she was giving rides and taking people to the polls so that they can go and vote. I was like, I raised the right,
now,
y'all.
Look, I'm giving y'all a round of applause because obviously, and I think that's really what happens is parents instill the importance of this in their children. So shout out to you and Brother Maul.
That's true. Yes.
So I was so proud of her. But yeah. Yes. Look, and even showing them, telling them, make sure you look for and you need to make sure you vote and pay attention to. I was like, go ahead, Jordan. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
And our counties did really well. Cobb switched.
Yeah.
Douglas
Oh.
County switched because Cobb
Mhm.
used to be different.
Mhm.
So
I said, Lord,
Well, it's a
all
lot of
those
counties,
postcards they
Fayette.
had us writing, Nikki.
yeah, and I was so happy. The sheriff I did the postcards for, he won, the first Black sheriff. I was like, feel like I did.
Oh, Nikki, you was doing
Happy Founders Day
postcards.
to him too.
Yeah, I did postcards. Jelani did too.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah, the long postcards.
Oh. Yeah, shout out
Well,
to Georgia though.
I think what's interesting too is the creative ways that people came up with to campaign during this time. You know, people were, look, jokingly, we were all tired of getting the texts, but those texts help, right? Like, and people were like, did you do that? And if you were respond, they would respond.
And still getting the text.
Yeah.
Emails. Oh my gosh, I'm over it. Really. I mean, I know it's needed.
Yeah.
But my
Yes,
goodness.
but
I
it's
get
like
them for
I don't
me,
need
and
it.
I
Send
get
it
them
to the
for
ones that
Todd.
need it.
I get them for
But I
me,
guess
and
the
I get
point
them for
is like,
Todd.
they don't know.
I get no
They
less
don't
than
know
50
who's
emails a
gonna
day.
need it,
It's
so-
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was also
Yeah.
really impressed with like all of the company, like State Farm Arena turning into a voting location. I think that was critical for Fulton County, just with the long lines that they typically experience. And then
Well, I
places that were
think
turning.
shout out to the NBA for that, because the NBA
Right.
players, you know, LeBron sat down and talked about, you know, Barack Obama said, I got a call at 2:00 in the morning. And these NBA players were on the phone like, okay, we just gonna walk off the court. He was like, no, let's
Hold
make this
on,
mean
right.
something. So you go and you tell the NBA, we got these empty arenas, let's open them up so people can go vote in them. And so that's how that happened here, Detroit, various other cities, that the NBA, you know, gave the go ahead to open up these arenas for people to go vote. So this is where you as an athlete, you connect with other people who understand politics and how to be civic minded and to make your voice heard. Don't just walk off and just be like, okay, let's do something. So shout out to everybody, like Jelani said,
using that platform,
you know, engaged, right?
And I think the retailers that took the stance and said we're going to use our stores or our locations for voting registration places like Foot Locker and, you know, other places, I think that was also a really smart decision. I think it's also very telling, if we want to switch gears to the Warnock and Ossoff race, how even the WNBA players won't even vote for Kelly Loeffler.
I mean, they shouldn't. She's corrupt.
Horrible
allegedly.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying, right? Like,
so you have all these Black players, but you're against Black Lives Matter. You just want them to be your workhorse and to make money for you, but you don't care about their actual lives. So
for sure,
what did she expect was going to happen? What was hilarious is when they walked out on that floor with those Warnock shirts on. I was like, shout out to Black women.
Yes.
Again.
Right. Yes. But being that we are here in the state of Georgia, we're still in a fight for our lives. So we need for everybody to get back out there and get your vote on, because
Atlanta influences everything.
Everything.
The nation, because the Senate hangs in the balance.
Yeah.
Based on Georgia's voting. So we gotta get out there again. We're not done here. And all eyes are on Georgia.
Right.
I see all these people moving here, like Andrew Yang and all the media people who are moving here for the next couple of months. It's crazy.
Yeah. So hey. But everybody don't keep moving here though, because we full.
Go back home. Full.
Pause. But if you would like to move here, please feel free to call me at 770-565-0020. I can help you. But I would also think too. I also like to thank the people who.
She gave her real estate phone number.
I know.
Oh, right. I'm like, wait, I don't know your number by heart, so I wouldn't know. But go ahead. What was you gonna say? Wasn't somebody talking about Eva Longoria? Oh, wait, go.
No, I was gonna say the people who don't live here, who are still actively trying to support what's happening in Georgia. Like people who are like, hey, I'm sending, $250 to each campaign, or, I'm doing this, I'm doing that to still help support, I think goes a long way too. Like they're doing everything they can to support.
But on the flip side of that, like what you were saying, how we were saying the different types of ways that people campaign, like AOC is saying that it might not have helped. That door knocking should have been, like people should have still gotten the face to face, and that's why her and the progressives did so well, and other people and other candidates did not do as well. More moderate candidates, because they did.
I don't want you knocking on my door.
But I don't want you knocking on my door. Don't come to my door. I'm fine with your virtual.
Not
I'm
now.
Fine with your parking lot. We're in the middle of a pandemic. No,
pandemic, right?
That's what I'm saying. But she was just saying that it was different, and a lot of the moderates didn't campaign in the ways they did, and they lost.
So yeah, but I think there are plenty of progressives who did not go knocking on doors either, and they still won. I know she did, but I think it's other progressives that didn't, and they still won. So.
But I think
I'm not.
And sometimes they were saying, you need to know your area, and outsiders coming in sometimes, doesn't necessarily help. So it can be a catch. I'm just playing devil's advocate, but it can be, catch 24. So hopefully all these people coming in and all the money that's coming in, because Jamie Harrison got a whole bunch of money and a whole lot of national attention, and Lindsey Graham.
I've never heard anyone say catch 24.
Yeah, it's catch 22. But that's okay. I'm just gonna flag circle over that. Marcia, I don't
know why that's 24. No, wait. No, I promise you, I wasn't trying to call you out. I was just thinking, am I saying it wrong? Because Nikki is the genius over here. And I'm sitting up here like, maybe I'd be scared to ask Nikki because
I got 24 stuck in right here for some reason. Yeah.
Girl, I'm like, you
look, I was just thinking maybe this is something the kids are saying, and I don't know yet.
Right.
So keep going.
Yeah. I was like, 24. I've been saying 24 a lot today. But
bless your heart.
But that's what people, there's this arguments to, so much national attention, so much money coming in. Is it really going to make a difference?
But I think that's true, Nikki. I mean, I think you still have to be able to read your own, right? And you have to know what's going to work in your area, and what works in Minnesota or what works in New York or LA may not work here. And I really hope that both Warnock and Ossoff, stay true to who they are and aren't, crazy influenced by, moderate versus progressives in our party, and just do what they've been doing and keep at it. Because
Georgia, and let them take the lead, or someone like Stacey Abrams, people that actually live here, let them take the lead, and Andrew Yang and everybody else that comes just follow whatever they ask them.
Right, agreed.
Because they don't understand what goes on here. But so that's what I was thinking about.
So I've heard this rumor that one of the first executive orders is going to be, have y'all heard this?
Girl, bad.
Well, look, this is more so for y'all because, the military kind of took care of me, but
I got the
having student loans.
Exactly. I'm with you, Marcia. Not the military, but I'm with you.
I already feel the hate coming, Jelani. I
do. Because look, I saw this guy. So we're talking about the student loans or whatever. And I saw this guy post. He just kind of started trending on Twitter where he was like, what about us people that paid our off? Well, we're going to get a refund. And I'm like, you know what? Let me tell you something. When I was 20 years old, I was in the hospital. I was very, very, very sick. And at that point, my parents' insurance was not going to cover me past my twins' birthday, even though I was a full-time student in school. And so I had to go, because back then it was not regulated. It was based on your employer, and my parents' employer cut it off at your 20th birthday, okay? So what ends up happening for me is I had to end up going on COBRA, because guess what? Because now I had pre-existing conditions, I could not get any coverage from any insurance company. They all denied me. And so therefore I had to go on COBRA. And at the age of 20 years old, being in college, we were paying almost $600 a month because I needed the health insurance. And so for me, what that motivated me to do is to go work for health in healthcare and public health to make sure that didn't happen to other kids. So that you cover till you 26, that pre-existing conditions, I worked on those things in my 20s, in my early career, because I didn't want that to happen to other kids. I didn't say I want my COBRA money back. I didn't say that. So I say shout out to all the people who paid.
I was sitting up here like, where is she going with this? Because I thought this was student loan, but I got you.
I'm like Rachel Maddow in this thing. I'm gonna bring it back around. I'm gonna tell you. No, I don't need that. I don't, just because I had to go through that. Miko went through that, so you don't have to go through that. Shout out to her.
Right.
So if you paid yours off, if you did your damn thing, cool. Be good for the other people who did it. Right? That's all. Don't hate, congratulate. Who knows if this actually even happens in the first place, right? It's like
right.
But you know,
but even if they don't wipe all of it and they just do a certain amount,
but
you just like any part is good.
I don't care.
And that's kind of what I have the question around, because I think there's such a huge disparity in how much student loan debt some people have, because we all know somebody who is in college driving a brand new whip that they bought with some student loan money from a refund check, right? So you've got those people who have $2,000 worth of debt or $30,000 worth of debt, and then you got those people with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. And so what I'm trying to figure out is, are they going to wipe away all of somebody's debt, or are they going to say everybody gets forgiven up to $60,000 or whatever amount? Like that's what I'm trying to figure out. So I have less of an issue with that, because if these millionaires get these tax refunds in the millions, and Jeff Bezos ain't paying no money in his taxes, so like we're talking about millions and billions of dollars versus a few thousands and maybe hundred thousands. I'm okay with getting the tax code right, so that these millionaires and billionaires pay their fair share, so that the regular people can get like, yeah, sure. There are people who went to just a regular state school who have over $100,000 in undergrad debt. There are also people who went to a regular state school who have a master's or a PhD or a medical school who have hundreds of thousands of dollars debt and weren't riding around in the new whip. So how do you differentiate between the people who just got the extra money versus people who really needed the money? You can't. So you just forgive it all, in my opinion, or up to whatever a point you want to. But I think in this country, we have to get away from, punishing regular people when we are giving literal socialism to millionaires and billionaires in this country. That's my soapbox.
And I agree that it's not
about fixing the taxpayer. Oh, go ahead, Nikki.
No, I was just saying that I think too is that, especially most of the people that have all this debt are Black people, and oftentimes we don't have financial literacy. And if you are a 19-year-old, like at one point it was predators that were on your campus that could just put credit cards in your hand, all kinds of stuff.
We still do that.
Yeah, but when you don't understand money, you're already behind. I just feel like, and then you don't make good decisions based on ignorance, then I don't know if you necessarily should be punished because you did something really stupid in your youth, and you just didn't know, and you were doing the best you could. And so sometimes I just think that we all need a little grace, and rich white kids get all kinds of breaks all the time. So I just think these college kids, you got your degree, even though you was driving around in an Escalade Navigator, being, dumb about it. I still think that should be forgiven. I think they did because they trying their best. They principals now, all these people I know, they was they principals and lawyers and doctors, but they got a lot of debt.
But that's that generational wealth. We were kind of told that, go to school and then you can get this job. But then when you think about a lot of the people that we know, if you didn't have a parent, like I'm a first generation, college graduate, and so is my husband. We didn't have somebody to help us navigate through all of that. Thankfully, we had a little sense. It didn't go crazy or anything like that, but that's not the case. I know plenty of people who got those credit cards to help their families. You know, they went out. I mean, they weren't they weren't paying for school, but they were helping their family.
I can see the argument for both sides, right? Giving a cap and wiping away it all. A, what's the reality that any of this is going to happen? There's that. And then B, what is the practicality behind that? Like, what is the implications of them saying everybody has no more student loan debt? Like, how does that even really happen? And then,
well, now we just have to sit and wait.
Right. You would think that they would use that money to buy a house, put it back into the economy. Is that going to happen? Some people have that amount of debt and still don't have the money to make the payment. So we can't turn around and say, well, it's going to be this boost in the economy. Yes, there should be a boost in the economy, but we don't know that that's going to, I mean, I can see it both ways.
You don't know.
About fixing the tax code, because I feel like despite how much money you make, if you're supposed to pay your taxes, you're supposed to pay your taxes, right? So I do feel like that has to be corrected.
Some of the student loans are predatory. It's almost predatory.
Right.
It's almost considered predatory lending, the loans that even the government is in all that interest. So I feel like the way it's going now is not working. So we might as well try a different way and forgive some of these loans and see what happens. Because we already see
let's do it.
See, you said some. You didn't say all. You said some.
It don't matter.
So right. So I guess what I'm saying is, Nikki said, I know Marcia. Nikki said, give people grace. I'm like, I feel like if somebody said, hey, we'll forgive up to $100,000 of your student loan debt or $50,000 worth of your student loan debt, I think I would be satisfied with that too. Y'all would?
And I think
if somebody gave you $50,000,
I
think if you have, $100,000, sure, it's easy to say for somebody who got like 50, right? But for somebody who has like maybe 2 or 3 because they wanted to go to medical school, they did not have anybody to help them, and they had to get those loans. I think, and they are right now, guess what? No, they're not in the military, but they are frontline workers right now. They are literally saving the lives of people around this country, as whether you are a nurse practitioner or a doctor.
So maybe it'll be looked at like that too. You never know. Maybe they'll look at it that way, where it's like doctors
they're talking about legislation for forgiving frontline workers.
Yeah.
So I do agree. I think if you work in the field for so long, I do think that's another way that they should look at the forgiveness of student loan debt. Okay, Marcia.
No, your computer's going out, in and out.
You're breaking up a lot.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
You were kind of choppy.
Okay.
I was listening intently.
Yeah.
But yes, we've been on student loan debt for a little bit now, so let's just pray and see what's gonna happen.
It's a hot topic. That's my number one issue.
Hot topic. We know, Nikki, because that's the first thing you said.
It's my biggest issue.
Yeah, we're gonna pray on that one.
Yeah,
and we'll see.
Yeah, it ain't even my number one issue, but y'all know I'm passionate. I believe in people paying their fair share, and I do agree with Nikki that I think these loans are predatory. It's very.
For sure.
If it wasn't for God's grace and mercy, Lord, I wouldn't be able to do
Did you guys have any last comments? Because we have been on here for a minute, and I know there was something else that Nikki wanted to get out.
Eva Longoria.
Oh yeah.
Black women are the real heroines. That's all I got to say.
It's hard because I am a fan of Eva Longoria. She's been out here doing the real work, but it's kind of like, is that underlying bias that people aren't even aware that they have sometimes?
So what did she do? I think I missed this. What did she do?
You want to take it, Nikki?
She was on MSNBC, and she was they were just talking about voting and how voting how every black women really, she said, well, black women in Georgia really did what they did, but the real heroines are the Latinas. And so she was
That's exactly how she said it.
So
I watched it live.
Like, it took away what black women did and tried to say that Latina women were the real heroines when Black
we are the
are the
CEOs of our
backbone.
household. We are.
Yeah, she was saying all this stuff,
a
and
lot.
we outvoted everybody, but she was trying to say in the Latin demographic of Latino men and Latino women that Latino women did, but that's not what she said. So
Right.
she had like Afro Latina called her out, and then everybody
There was
was
a lot of people that called her out.
yeah,
But
that,
basically what she tried to say was that she was not talking about the juxtaposition between Black women and Latino women. She was talking about the Latinx community between Latin women and Latin men, but it did not come out that way.
that's not what she said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm like, if she said it the way Nikki just said it didn't sound
She
like
said
that
it
to me.
exactly like that.
And then she put out a statement because people were going in on her. And
I mean,
then
they still dragging
but it
her.
wasn't good enough still. It was getting there. And then she came back with another statement. But
She went on to Joanne
Reed,
Reed's show too, and you know,
Oh, I have to ask Jamal. He watched that show every night.
What
Oh,
read
okay.
out? Yay! Shout out to
Yes.
Joanne.
yeah.
We
But
record
But
it,
she- yeah.
but I don't catch
Just
it all the
get
time.
biased sometimes. And sometimes you don't want a group to get the shine. And you feel like everybody was talking about Black women for the first time. I mean, Joe Biden said it for the first time in his speech. People were making Kamala Harris thank Black women, and people were just thanking Stacey Abrams and Latasha Brown, and just all the work they've been doing. And I guess some women felt slighted, but 55% of white women voted for Trump, so that is an issue.
And also, I just say, I believe, Nikki, you are the legal authority here, but I believe that Senator Graham out of South Carolina needs to stay his business in South Carolina. And I personally think they need to investigate South Carolina since he's coming to Georgia, trying to tell us what we need to do illegally, I believe. And so perhaps we need to figure some of that out too. That's all I got to say about Lindsey Graham.
In South Carolina, if he coming to other states, calling people, trying to get them to, and the thing is, they keep saying legal votes. Get the and they're trying to say Black people's votes didn't matter.
Right, because everybody, all the counties that they're trying to call out are the majority Black counties, of course.
Well,
girl,
think about what happened in Michigan, where they
it's
were
a whole
like,
it's only illegal. It's only illegal where he lost. So the ones where he won, it wasn't anything going on. Like,
what's even the crazy fact that Joe Biden's votes at the top of the ticket were bogus, but down ballot where the Republicans won is fine. Crazy.
Yeah, this don't make any sense.
All right, we was gonna cheat. We gonna cheat all the way down. Look,
all the way down.
I was saying,
we had this runoff. What you talking about?
Like, that don't make no
you think we
sense.
want to go back in January? I don't want to go back and vote.
Right.
Waste more tax dollars.
But this was probably
and it's cold
because we had so many mail-in ballots and no, Russian interference. This is probably the most legitimate election we ever had.
Exactly. And that's why he fired. Exactly. That's why I just said. That's why he fired. Oh boy, because he said
because there was so many mail-in ballots. You can't mess with that. It's on paper. Yes. You can't mess with a computer system. You can mess with a computer system, but.
And then I was laughing at the people who were like, "Stop counting." What you mean, stop counting? So, okay, so we would have called the election a long time ago because we won then. Like, what you mean, stop counting? They're like, "Oh, stop counting because we think things are going wrong." Okay, we'll go watch the cameras. And I actually logged in. I can't remember what county it was. I mean, what state it was. I went to look one day and I was like, let me just see. And you could really see like what was happening. So like, even if you just sat there and say you saw somebody trying to switch something, I mean, it was good enough that you could kind of see those things happening. But I'm just like, come on, y'all.
Yeah. So it's sad and
this is so sad. He's lost all. I mean, every judge has laughed at them. Like they're like, "What is your legal argument? What is the basis?"
I think it was funny, even when Chris Christie was like, "So look, you can file suit, you can do whatever you want to, but you have to have legitimate evidence to support it. And if you don't, then you just need to stop hyping people up, basically."
Yeah. This is ridiculous.
That's all he's doing.
Girl,
yeah.
It's so
sad. It's funny because he hasn't given the concession speech.
Yes, Nikki. Yes.
The people who put the concession speech together based off of all his other speeches. Have y'all seen that video yet?
Yeah.
I was like, we might as well just play this for everybody.
Yeah, we don't need your concession speech. We just need you to pack it on up.
That's just popping circumstance anyway. All that stuff, he can go. We don't have to say nothing.
Well, like I said, let's just be vigilant. He's firing all these top people and replacing them with people who are not qualified. So look, some of y'all might have to make some decisions about how far you're willing to go for your democracy.
Yeah.
Just saying, because this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
I mean, it's really crazy.
No. All right, ladies, that's going to do it for this episode of the Love Chat podcast. I want to remind all of our listeners to please follow us on all social media platforms at the Love Chat podcast. And don't forget, I'm sorry, I'm looking at Kamiko. If you need to go watch his YouTube to see all these facial expressions and everything that everybody is doing on camera, but feel free to let us know what you think of this week's episode. And if it's something that you would like us to discuss, please send us a love letter at the Love Chat Podcast at gmail.com. And don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. Wash your hands, wear a mask, and sanitize.
And go vote, Georgia.
Away from me.
Vote. You are about to
please go vote, Georgia.
You are about to lose your job.
Yes.
Be best.
Yeah, be best.